Roll VTR, 60 seconds live.
Stand by. Loading 1, 2, and effects 2. No, we're live at 60.
Out to the right. Louis flush. Throws it down.
Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Uses it back to wide.
30 seconds live.
Across the field to Dyson. He's got something. He's got something. He's got it. He's got it. And he's got it. End zone. Touchdown, Mike. There are no flags on the field. There's a long drive.
In 3, 2.
What's your name, boy?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the School Podcast Show. I'm your host, Sean Harris.
Hello.
For those of you who do not know me, now you know. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and also blogspot.com and all the other social media sites that's out there. To follow the show, you just go to facebook.com/Scoop Talk Show. There you will find pictures, articles, videos, and everything else that you're looking for and much, much more. I would like to give a shout out and thank those of you that are listening to the podcast show at this moment. In India, USA, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Mexico, Brazil, Israel, South Africa, and Kenya. Really appreciate it. Continue sending your love, support, liking the show, following the show's Facebook page, following the show's Twitter page, keeping up with everything going on with the Scoop Talk Show as well as the Scoop Podcast Show. Thank you so much. We're going to be talking a little bit about all the Major League sports that happened last night going into today's contest in this podcast show. We're going to get off into a little bit about MLB baseball. We're going to talk a little bit about the Boston Red Sox. Yes, the Boston Red Sox has been swept. They're out now. Big Papi is not going to retire as a world champion the way they wanted him to go out. They lose to Cleveland last night in last night's contest. We're going to get off into some NFL football. We're going to be talking about Monday night's contest with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers, as well as we're going to be talking about other things that's going on around the league as of Sunday. And also Stephen A. Smith, man. Stephen A. Smith. This is the last time I'm going to play any audio of him hating on the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to talk a little bit about that and break that down. We're also going to be talking about NCAA football, where Western Michigan stands out in the rankings. Yes, Western Michigan has made the polls as of yesterday. We're going to get a little bit about that. We're going to talk about breaking news. K-Wings of the ECHL made a trade, as well as the Boston's manager returning for 2017 season. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in the breaking news. That's right, roll call, where you are selected by the School Podcast Show, and I handpick to announce you over the air. Today's fan of the day is, drum roll please, E2 Tapon. You are the fan pick of the day for roll call. Keep listening to the show, bro. Keep supporting the show. Keep liking the show. Keep following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all the other social media sites that we have available. Once again, the fan of the day is E2 Tapon. Don't know where you're from, but send me that information, and I'll get that right over the air the next time I call your name. Let's jump right off into the podcast show. We're going to talk a little bit about MLB, baseball. Kick that thing off right here, right now. I watched some of the game between Boston and Cleveland last night. Boston is down 2-0 in the series to Cleveland. Hey, I don't know. These Cleveland Indians are red hot right now. They're doing their thing.
You damn right!
Like I said in the last podcast, somebody please send a message to the Scoop Talk Show page on Facebook / the Scoop Talk Show. And let me know what's happening. Did LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers come out there with the NBA trophy to bring some of this magic to them? Because they're on the road right now, people. 94 games, first in the AL Central over the Tigers, the White Sox, and the Twins. The Tigers were supposed to be the team that was supposed to get back to the postseason, but was eliminated the second to last day of the season.
Hey, man!
Boston won 93 games, first in the AL East, over the Yankees and Toronto, with everybody like that doing their thing. But to no avail, Cleveland came to Boston on Monday night and shocked the world.
I shook up the world! I shook up the world!
You damn right!
They beat them, swept them. 4-3 was your final score. Game was pretty tight throughout the contest until the fourth inning, when Naquin, a rookie with 2 men on, had a 2 RBI single that scored Ramirez and Chisenhall to make it a 2-0 lead. Boston get 1 run back in the bottom of the 5th on a double. But Garrett scores, making it a 2-1 ball game. Cleveland add 2 more in the top of the 6th with Coco Crisp.
Coco's my name, and as you can see, swinging through the jungle with my Coco Crispies.
Hey, man!
No, not the cereal. The player. Coco Crisp homered to left on a 1-2 count. A 2-run shot. Boston get 1 in the bottom of the 6th when Big Papi hit a sacrifice fly to center. Pedroia scores. Boston was threatening to get back into this ball game when they got another run in the bottom of the 8th. Ramirez singled to left. Betts scores, making it a 4-3 contest. But that was all, people. That was all. As Cody Allen comes in for Cleveland and shuts the door and the dreams of the Boston Red Sox and Big Papi retiring, making it back to the World Series in his final year. It was a great contest, but throughout this series, it was not really that close as everybody would like for it to be, particularly the Boston Red Sox fans. There was a lot of miscues throughout this series with them. Pitching, hitting, fielding, everything. And Boston just couldn't find the answer to make everything complete. So it was just one of those things that happens in baseball. You win and you lose, but all in all, it's how you play the game. The game is so unpredictable in baseball, you never know. Because Coco Crisp, his bunt to advance the runner for the rookie, Naquin, to get that single to score those 2 runs to open up the game, that meant a lot right there. Now that's a veteran doing his job. Here is Boston Red Sox manager John Farrell, as well as Cleveland Indians manager Terry Francona, talking about what had happened and transpired throughout the whole contest.
I think it goes back to some of the offensive inconsistencies throughout this series. Sometimes in game 1 we're over aggressive. This game, we know we've got a command and control guy on the mound who's come into this game tonight having pitched extremely well. Again, the inability to string some hits together. The number of pitches he's throwing, if we wait to get to Jackie in that inning, we may never get there. And then they're going to go to Shaw with the right-handers coming the next inning. So that was the chance, or the shot we took with him. He draws the walk, starts, the potential of getting something going. Either Benintendi or Jackie's going to have to get an at-bat if that inning gets extended. But if it's not, I'm not going to get left with the pinch hit starting the next inning, and then they go to Shaw to lead things off.
Now that was Boston's manager, John Farrell, and Cleveland's manager, Terry Francona, breaking it down to you on the scenario late in the ball game. Now, Boston's issue was, like Farrell said, inconsistencies on the offensive side of the game. The bats weren't clicking like they were. Big Papi really wasn't an impact throughout the ball game. The pitching was kind of like up and down a little bit. But all in all, too much inconsistency on the Boston Red Sox part playing on the field. Francona, on the other hand, he had a decision that he had to make at that moment. It was a tight ball game. You know he's good at it. He won 2 World Series with Boston. Put the right man in at the right time and got the job done to win the ball game. I wouldn't say... You damn right!
I don't sweat you.
No, I'm not going to go there. But anyway, I'm not going to say per se that Francona bittersweet for him to beat his old team. Or do he find it bittersweet that he did beat his old team?
What the hell is he talking about?
But I don't think so. I think, professionalism-wise with him, he had to do what he had to do to help his ball club be in position to win this series. And convincingly, they won this series. So congratulations to the Cleveland Indians. Now they take on the Toronto Blue Jays in the ALCS, which is American League Championship Series. But going back to the stats, starter Josh Tomlin get the win. He goes 5 strong innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and struck out 4. Clay Bocoats, he only lasted 4 innings, gave up 6 hits, gave up the 2 big earned runs to open up the game in the 4th. He had 1 walk and also with 4 strikeouts. And like I said, Cody Allen got the save, shut the door, pitched 1 in the 3rd, got 2 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. What's up for Cleveland to keep the magic going? They got the Toronto Blue Jays.
I don't sweat you.
Yes, I said it. The Toronto Blue Jays beat Texas convincingly to win their series 7-6. Texas had nothing mustered up against Toronto. Because like I said before, Toronto was on the momentum right now in the wild card. They're still on fire. Texas had a bye week, and they just simply could not do nothing. They tried to make a game out of it. It went 10 innings, but to no avail. They didn't do enough. So Texas has now been eliminated. Toronto moves on to face the Cleveland Indians. Dodgers at home. The Nationals come in, beat them 8-3. Cubs lost in 13 last night, 6-5 over San Francisco. So the Dodgers and the Cubs got their hands full right now with Washington and San Francisco. There's a battle going on with these 4 teams to move on.
Oh, it's real. It's damn real.
And it's going to be interesting to see how this all play out. Like I said in the last podcast, Washington had to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Cubs and Giants, same scenario. Can San Francisco get back into this series? And can Washington get back into this series? Well, actually, Washington is up in this series. Can they advance and move on? But as far as Toronto and Cleveland is concerned, their date is scheduled to play real soon. They got some time off. And then they'll resume action in Cleveland October 14th. The American League Championship Series, Cleveland at home versus Toronto Blue Jays. Don't miss it. Now it's time for some NCAA men's football, people. Yes, the polls are in on Monday, and man, it's about freaking time. About freaking time. I can't say the other word, but you know what I'm talking about out there.
You gotta learn not to talk that way.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
No, I'm not going to be ashamed of myself because I didn't say it. Please. Anyway, the polls are in, and Western Michigan finally broke through. Finally broke through after 6 games. They beat Northern Illinois on Saturday night's game on the road to go to 6-0, and they're ranked 24th. Yes, that's right. I said it. Give up the applause. Yes, give up the applause. '24th. Congratulations to the Western Michigan Broncos. You're representing Kalamazoo, Michigan strong. We're proud of you. We love you as a team. We love you as a community. Keep doing what you're doing to get up there a little bit more. We're going to be rooting for you. We're going to be rooting for you. But the rest of the schedule on Saturday was pretty good. Pretty good. Kicked off on Friday. Number 3, Clemson upset it. Boston College, 56-10. They whooped them bad. It was literally grown. That's why I consider it an upset. It's not an upset because Boston College had no chance to win that. It upset Boston College more than Clemson. Number 19, Boise State, 49-21 over New Mexico. Number 20, Oklahoma beat Texas 45-40.
What the hell is he talking about?
Navy, what an upset. Oh my goodness. Navy with that win over number 6 ranked Houston topped it to the top 25 as well. They're ranked 25th with their 46-40 win. Number 25 Virginia Tech beat number 17 North Carolina. Now that's an upset. 34-3, and what a big upset that was. Number 2 Ohio State keep their rankings flowing, stand at the top with a 38-17 win over Indiana. Number 8 Texas A&M still probably keep their ranks alive as well, beat number 9 ranked Tennessee 45-38. USC, shocker, at home in Southern California, they beat number 21 ranked Colorado 21-17.
You damn right!
Number 1 Alabama keep their rankings up top as number 1, defeating 16 ranked Arkansas 49-30. Michigan, oh my goodness. What can you say about the Wolverines? Jim Harbaugh got them on the roll right now, people. Got them on the roll.
You damn right!
Yeah, you damn right. 78-0 over Rutgers.
Come on, man.
Michigan could not do no wrong in this contest against Rutgers. They played both sides of the football and shut Rutgers down. Another big score on the board, Washington blew out Oregon. Number 5 ranked Washington 70, Oregon 21. Number 23 ranked Florida State upset it. Number 10 Miami 20-19 by 1. Close game. Number 24 ranked Utah, which now probably moved up because now Navy and Western is in. They beat Arizona 36-23. Stanford continues to fall.
Damn!
Number 15 ranked Stanford got upsetted by Washington State 42-16. And the LSU Florida game, which Florida is ranked 18th, was postponed due to Hurricane Matthew. Hopefully Florida keep that number 18 ranking because after all, they did not play. But taking a look at your polls here, Alabama still holds the number 1 ranking. Ohio State still holds the number 2 ranking. Clemson holds the number 3 ranking with their win. Michigan with their big win still at number 4 because these 3 teams keep winning. Washington is at number 5. They stay there. Texas A&M went from 8 to 6. Louisville stayed at number 7. Wisconsin still at number 8. Well, actually, they moved up 3 spots. They was 11 as of last week, but they moved up with their win. Tennessee stayed at number 9. Nebraska moved up 2 spots from 12 to 10. Baylor moved up 2 spots from 13 to 11. Ole Miss, they went up 2 spots from 14 to 12. Houston slid 7 spots down with their loss, their blowout loss, from 6 to 13.
Say what?
Florida State, with their win, they went from ranked 23rd to number 14. They went up 9 spots. Boise State went up 4 spots from 19 to 15. Miami, Florida, the U, they fall 6 spots from 10 to 16. Virginia Tech, with their win, they go up from 25 to 17. Florida, with their non-conference play due to Hurricane Matthew, thank goodness they stay at 18. Nothing changed with them. Oklahoma went up 1 spot, 20 to 19. West Virginia went up 2 spots, 22 to 20. Utah went from 24 to 21 with their victory. Arkansas slid down 6 spots from 16 to 22nd. Auburn wasn't even ranked, but they got in at 23rd. And like I said before, the Western Michigan Broncos is at 24, and Navy with their victory is at 25. The votes that was given, Georgia at 59 leading the way, Arizona State at 53, North Carolina at 51, LSU, they get a 50. Oklahoma State 48, North Dakota State 36, Stanford 26 with their loss, Colorado 22nd, South Florida 20, TSU get 14 votes, Washington State get 9 votes, NC State get 9, Iowa get 3, Air Force get 2, San Diego State 2, Wake Forest get 1. And that is your Associated Press top 25 going into the new week.
This segment of the Scoop Podcast Show is brought to you by, in conjunction with and in association with, KSC Entertainment LLC. KSC Entertainment LLC. Chase your dreams. Don't let your dreams chase you.
Hey everyone, this is Sean Harris, host of the Scoop Podcast Show. Be sure to catch the Scoop Podcast Show every week. You can also go to the show's Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/The Scoop Talk Show. There you'll see archives of pictures, videos, and blogs from the Scoop Talk Show. You can also find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and all your other social media outlets. That's the Scoop Podcast Show each and every week.
Hey, what's up, all you lovely people? Please subscribe and follow me on all social media. Your support is very much appreciated. Thank you.
Hello, for those of you that are just joining us right now listening to the Scoop Podcast Show, I'm your host, Sean Harris. We have some breaking news and some developments that we want to share with you at this moment here at the Scoop Podcast Show. This is coming out of the ECHL's Hockey League. The K-Wings has made a trade.
Say what?
Yes, the K-Wings had made a trade. The K-Wings is opening up their preseason of the 2016-2017 campaign. Things have not been going well with them. I've been at some of those games, and The K-Wings right now is 0-3 in preseason action right now. And they need to make some changes in their lineup, or add some depth, I should say, to their lineup. So what the K-Wings has done, they traded future considerations to the Toledo Walleye in exchange for forward Austin Woodridge. Woodridge, a 23-year-old native of Anchorage, Alaska, had joined the K-Wings. And he is to be the guy to look forward to help turn their season around. In the 2015-2016 season, he skated 53 games for the Eastern Conference champions. And he racked up 28 points and 15 goals and 13 assists in the process. So they're getting a good player in regards to the future considerations that they're going to give the Toledo Walleye in this matter. Head coach Nick Bootland said, quote, he delivered as a rookie on a very skilled offensive team last year, and he plays big, unquote. He do. I've seen him last year, got a chance to witness his style. This kid is a force to be reckoned with, by far. Because after all, we got to understand he's 23 years old. And the K-Wings are now looking to get that added depth to help turn their offense around, because they played aggressive hockey in the games that I saw them in. Controlling the puck, maintaining the crease, attacking the blue line. But for some odd reason, the K-Wings just could not muster up a victory out of it. To check out the articles that I wrote about the K-Wings, go to SeanHarris.sportsblog.com. There you will be able to read the articles that I wrote about the K-Wings thus far this season. That's SeanHarris.sportsblog.com. Woodridge was drafted by the Washington Capitals in the 4th round, 107 overall in the draft, the entry draft. And he looks promising. Looks very promising. I can't wait to see him play, because I will be there at Wings Event Center here in Kalamazoo, Michigan, to see him play. He begins his season on the road with the K-Wings against the Norfolk Admirals at the Norfolk Scope Arena. So for those of you listening to me here in Michigan, the puck drops at 7:30 p.m. Coverage began at 7:15 with the pregame show with my good friend Joseph Roberts on AM 1660 The Fan. So don't miss that. Continuing on with the breaking news that we have for you here at the Scoop Podcast Show, we have some latest developments that longtime play-by-play announcer Jerry Hartwick won't refer the Indians' name in this ALCS.
Come on, man.
He will not call them the Indians, people. Wait. Before everybody start thinking a little different about the scenario or the situation, we must understand he has not used this word or similar one since 1992 World Series.
Say what?
Because he had received a letter from a member of the First Nation that told the veteran broadcaster that he found terms such as Braves deeply offensive. Now, let's keep in mind that it was a debate a while back ago, several years back. I don't exactly recall how many years ago. I want to say maybe about 3-5 years ago at the most, where the Native Americans had made a protest in regards to changing the names of these teams. Whether it be collegiate, high school, semi-pro, all the way up to the pro level. Because they found it to be offensive. And remember the big controversy with the Washington Redskins. Wanting to change the name, wanting to change the logo. It's been in talks for the last few years. But Daniel Snyder, who is the owner of the Washington Redskins, is not going to do that. He says that he don't find the name the Redskins not offensive. So he's going to stick with the team's name. St. John's, they made a change in college level. They went from the Red Men, remember they was called the St. John's Red Men, to the Red Storm now, out of respect for that. But Cleveland is another team that came under scrutiny in recent years, particularly last season when they had a popular selling t-shirt that depicted a yellow-colored Chief Wahoo. It brought about intense criticism of the organization's use of the logo. But Howard, who is the veteran play-by-play for the Toronto Blue Jays, has said, hey, I got that letter 20 years ago, and I've taken out a lot of my snips or my glitches or my sayings whenever I run across the Atlanta Braves or the Cleveland Indians. And he also refrained from using such phrases as powwow at the mound, which he was so popular to say over the years. And he went on to say for the rest of his career, I will not say, quote, Indian or Brave. And if I was in the NFL, I would not say Redskins, unquote. But the Indians has been scalding back on Chief Wahoo logo in recent years. And as an end result, Chief Wahoo image and logo has been removed back in 2013 from his home batting helmet altogether. But it's still found, as you can see, when you watch the Cleveland Indians play, it's still found on the sleeves of the players' jerseys. Owner Paul Dolan said that it will remain, quote, as part of our history and legacy of the Cleveland Indians, unquote. So we're going to keep you up to date with that story, like we do with every story here at the School Podcast Show, on that breaking development. Now, sticking with MLB breaking news, Boston has made their decision after being eliminated in Monday night's contest that they're going to continue on keeping John Farrell on as manager for the 2017 season. John Farrell, who we just heard earlier, talking about the miscues of Boston's Red Sox offense, they decided to go ahead and stick with him. Because he guided them, after all, to a World Series title back in 2013 in his first season, after Terry Francona was let go in 2012. So the Red Sox decided to go ahead and give him one more shot to see what he can do in regards of turning this team around, getting them back to the World Series again next year. Because I think that if he doesn't, he might be gone then. So we're going to keep you up to date with that story as well as it develops, because right here at the Scoop Podcast Show, we bring the scoop, the whole scoop, and nothing but the scoop. So be looking out for that real soon.
When we talk about the Cowboys, what do I always say? What do I religiously say? I call them an accident waiting to happen, and I say, just take your time. Just be patient. Somehow, some way, they will find a way to screw up. It's who they are. When it's the Cowboys, something will happen. Just sit. I should have known this. I mean, the gods were just shining down on me. They were thinking about me. He was thinking about me. Hold on. You just mentioned the Cowboys and a lock in the same sentence. Did I hear you correctly? Say it again. I mean, is that what you just said? I apologize. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Take the floor.
Yeah.
Take the floor. Let me drink my coffee. Go ahead.
I'm kind of annoyed today. You know, it's kind of a difficult day to deal with because, you know, the Cowboys are winning.
And we all know how I feel about the Cowboys. We know what kind of problems I have with the Cowboys. And because I think y'all have the worst fan base in American history. Y'all make me sick. I don't like you all very much. I have no problem with the Cowboys. I have a problem with its fan base. Y'all are disillusioned. Y'all are just in another stratosphere. Y'all not all there. You're not logical. Damn near ain't factual either. I don't like many of y'all Cowboys fans. I'm going to be the first to admit it. But I will concede that what I'm seeing right now gives me cause to pause. Ezekiel Elliott looks like a stud. Dak Prescott is no joke. As far as I'm concerned, Tony Romo's already lost his job. He should. I mean, why should he keep it? For what? What purpose would it serve? What's he going to do that ain't being done right now? If anything, he might potentially interrupt everything. And I think that would be problematic. That's just me. That's how I feel. So that's where I'm at right now. That's what I'm struggling with when I think about the Cowboys. But I have to concede, they look pretty damn good.
Continuing on with the School Podcast Show. Like I said before, this is going to be the last time that y'all hear me put out Stephen A. Smith. I've called him out on several occasions about the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I hope you guys out there and gals out there listening that are Cowboy fans and Cowboy Nation, did you hear what he said? No. Did you hear what he said about the Dallas Cowboy fans? This is personal with Stephen A. Make no mistake about it. Very personal. And I'm tired of it personally myself because I'm a Cowboys fan. You don't hear anybody talking bad about the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is his team. He's from New York. You don't hear anybody talking bad about the Giants. And the Giants are doing terrible right now. Hell, he even jumped on the Seahawks bandwagon with Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch and all of them. So, being a Cowboys fan, it kind of make you frustrated. Because in a way, it makes me frustrated.
Damn! Hey, man! You damn right!
To hear him get on national television talking bad about the Dallas Cowboys, who are playing phenomenal football right now. The Eagles lost, so they're undefeated. Dallas is sitting in first place right now. Yeah, we know about Jerry Jones' decision to stick with his boy Tony Romo. We know about all that. We get that. I even agree with him on that on my last podcast show in regards to if they bring Tony Romo in, yeah, it spells disaster for the Dallas Cowboys. But you can't continue on just riding bad on the Cowboys, let alone the fans. Why? What's the matter, Steven? I'm not going to call you Stephen A. I'm going to call you Steven. What's the matter?
Snap now.
The Dallas Cowboy fan base has always been loyal throughout the years, whether they won or lost. Is that what you hate the most about them? Or is it the fact that the Giants has a less fan base and the Steelers fan base is pretty much fluctuated as well, that nobody not really talking about neither one of those teams, or even the Seahawks for that matter?
This is deep.
Dallas fans has always been loyal, Steven. I'm going to tell y'all something right now. Anybody that has my email address, anybody that has my phone number, anybody that has any connection with me out there right now, send it to Stephen A. Send this piece of article to Stephen A. Tell him to get at me. Yeah, he got this contest on First Take about being debatable. Yeah, let me get at it. Because this is getting to the point to where it's ridiculous. And Stephen A. need to take a step back a little bit. On one hand, he's talking about the Cowboys being a team that's going to be rattled and explosive, and he can't wait for it to happen, anticipating on it to happen. But then next thing you know, you turn around and see him, he all on they douchebag.
You gotta learn not to talk that way.
Well, I can't say the other word, but y'all know where I'm getting at with it. You can't flip-flop, man, and that's your problem, Steven. You flip-flop too much. On one hand, everything is all good, and then on one hand, everything is all bad, but you got to find a reason to explain yourself about the good more than you do about the bad, about the team that you don't like. And a real fan out there of the NFL, Major League Baseball, tennis, whatever sport that you in, golf, hockey, you're not going to go for that. You're not going to stand for that. Enough is enough, Steven. Enough is enough. Let me play a little bit more about what he had to say.
They look better than the Giants. They look better than the Redskins. And even though the Eagles lost to the Detroit Lions, I don't know about them or the Eagles because I think the Eagles defense might be a little bit better, but the Eagles can't run the football the way the Dallas Cowboys can run the football right now. And their passing attack might be somewhat suspect because I got nothing but faith in Jordan Matthews, rather, not Nelson Aguilar. Zach Ertz and Brent Selleck at the tight end spot, if they're healthy, who knows what they can do. But there's some question marks. So right now, the Dallas Cowboys look like the team to beat in the NFC East.
Now, you hear what I'm saying, Cowboy Nation? You hear what I'm saying, Cowboy fans out there across the U.S. and other countries abroad? Stephen A. ain't nothing but a flip-flop show artist. He is. On one hand, you talking bad about the Cowboys, but on the other hand, you admitting the fact that they are a pretty good football team. They're just that pretty damn good.
You damn right!
That's right, you damn right. And Stephen A. don't want to confess up to that. But he needs to. He needs to confess up to it. Because after all, the Cowboys are winning football games, people. Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott and that offensive line is doing their thing on the football field. Williams, Witten, Dunbar, everybody. And on the defensive side of the football, playing phenomenal. The corners, the safeties, the middle linebackers with Sean Lee leading the helm. A healthy Sean Lee at that. But what is he waiting on? He's waiting on the opportunity for Tony Romo to get healthy, get back out there on the field, and going to be gloating about it. Here's what he had to say on First Take.
I want Dallas Cowboy fans to suffer. I want them to suffer bad. I can't stand Cowboy fans, and nothing would please me more than for the Dallas Cowboys to elevate themselves to prosperity and to be right there on the tip of it all. And then, as you would say, fall off the cliff. And guess where my evidence is that this is destined to happen? Jerry Jones, because the man went out yesterday. Dak Prescott balled yesterday. Did he ball yesterday? I think he balled yesterday. Did he ball? What about Ezekiel Elliott? Did he ball yesterday? I mean, everything is flowing. And what does Jerry Jones decide to do? Tony Romo's still our God. It's beautiful. I mean, it's there for me. It's there for me to happen. I'm trying to tell you right now. We know that Dak Prescott's sustained it. I'm trying to tell you right now. It is there. Jerry Jones is going to deliver Christmas to me early. You can book it. He's gonna mess it up. It's who he is. It's who he is.
Now, once again, that was Stephen A. on his take about the alleged blow-up of the Dallas Cowboys and how much he cannot stand the Dallas Cowboys fans. He cannot stand the Dallas Cowboys nation. The movement is too strong for him to handle right now at this point. And the way for him to get over what it is he's trying to get over, that's if he's trying to get over anything at all, is his denial factor. He cannot deny the fact that the Dallas Cowboys is winning football games. He cannot deny the fact that the Dallas Cowboys is playing like he never anticipated that they would play before. Dak Prescott is doing things for that team that hasn't been seen in a while. In a while. Ever since the Dallas Cowboys was the championship team of the 90s, along with San Francisco, that's all he been doing. Gloating, laughing, joking, making fun of the Dallas Cowboys. But that time is up now. As of right now, that time is up. And if Jerry Jones was smart, he would not bring Tony Romo back. Now, I'm not going to say Tony Romo should lose his job as a starter. He's a veteran. It's part of the contract, collective bargaining agreement. He's healthy. He's ready to play. Dak Prescott got no choice but to be the number 2 man on the bench. And then you got Sanchez at the number 3. But as of right now, Dak Prescott is doing his thing right now. Ezekiel Elliott came into his own, like I said before. He needed time to develop, and he got that time to develop as the weeks went on. He is the top rusher in the NFL right now. Cole Beasley, top receiver in the NFL right now. Jason Witten breaking records at the tight end position. And they're doing all of this without Dez Bryant in the lineup. Can't forget about Dez. Look, okay, I know he blew up, and that was uncalled for him to blow up. He get a little emotional. We get that. But still, nonetheless, Dez Bryant is a hell of a receiver. And when he's in the game and when he's healthy, he can be a producer. He'll be a game changer. But they got Terrence Williams over there doing his thing, the rookie. And everything is clicking on all cylinders. So I don't understand for the life of me, why is Stephen A. tripping on the Dallas Cowboys fans, Cowboy Nation, because up underneath it all, he's actually tripping also on the Dallas Cowboys organization. Because every time he opens up his mouth to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, week after week after week after week, he sticks his foot further and further and further down his throat. Because he knows for a fact that there is nothing bad that he can say about the Dallas Cowboys right now. That's why he's gloating and can't wait for Jerry Jones to make that decision to put Tony Romo back in the game. But as long as Dak Prescott is at quarterback, as long as Dak Prescott is not injured, he's going to look that much more like a fool. That much more like a person that was too overzealous to see the Cowboys go down instead of the Cowboys rising to the top. But it's like I said before. Nobody ain't saying nothing bad about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nobody's saying nothing bad about the New York Giants. Nobody's not even saying nothing bad about the Seattle Seahawks. But for some reason, he always got to talk about the Dallas Cowboys when it comes to the NFL football season. When the season first began, and they're talking about mini camps and OTAs and everything like that, I've been to those. I've seen them. He gets on television, and the first thing, the conversation when it comes up about the Dallas Cowboys, he began to salivate. He began to drool over the fact that they're not going to have a good season, or they're going to play horrible, or They're going to find some kind of way to mess up, as he say. And he laughs about it. But the laughing ain't no more, Stephen. It ain't no more. So you continue on doing what you're doing. That even though you know a lot about football, and even though you know a lot about everything that goes on in the NFL, but when it comes to the Cowboys, the fans know more than you, Stephen A. The fans know more than you. Detroit and Philadelphia, my sleeper. I picked them in the last podcast show. I said that Detroit was going to upset Philadelphia, giving them their first loss to make them undefeated no more. And I was right. Detroit played great football in that. They started out in the floodgates early with a 14-0 lead in the first. Man, what can you say about Theo Riddick, man? I mean, that guy is phenomenal right now in Detroit. He's not getting a lot of press around the league like he deservingly need to have. But this guy is playing some good football for Detroit. He's quick, he's small, he's fast, he can catch the football, he can make yards after the catch, everything.
I can relate.
He played phenomenal in this game. Philadelphia get 10 points in the second to be down by 4, but Detroit scores one more, where Matthew Stafford threw to Marvin Jones for a 1-yard TD pass to make it 21-10. Philadelphia shut them out in the third, getting 10 more points out of it, making it 20-21 Detroit. And then it was field goals after that in the fourth. And Detroit went on to win 24-23. The keys for Detroit was the fourth down efficiency. They was 2 out of 2 in fourth downs. When they needed to get that, to keep the chains going, to keep the drive alive, they did that. They did just that. Philadelphia beat them in the running game as well as in the passing game, and total yards, they beat them in that category too. But it was the penalties that killed Philadelphia as well that handed them this loss as well. 14 penalties for 111 yards to only 2 penalties to Detroit's 18 yards.
Come on, man.
That's big. That's big. You can't have that type of number like that and expect to win. But nonetheless, Philadelphia made it a close ball game. They only lost by 1. And thank you and the 58,047 in attendance at Ford Field for making my sleeper pick the right pick to make. Thank you. Monday night contest was between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. Even though Hurricane Matthew went through that area, didn't do no significant damage to where Carolina could not play this game. This game was sloppy, y'all. It was. I mean, special teams for Carolina Panthers played horrible. Absolutely horrible. This is not the Carolina team that I saw last year that went all the way to the Super Bowl. Not the team that lost to the Patriots. And Tampa Bay is a team that's struggling really bad. You had instances and situations and games where the quarterback, neither one of them could really do what they needed to do. Couldn't at all. It was like they was somewhat afraid to play because if Cam Newton was in the ball game, and I'm quite sure he's still kind of suffering from that concussion and need to be cleared, Carolina would have won this game convincingly. I believe that. They would have won it. But no Cam Newton. But Greg Olsen, man, he got off. He tried to do everything he could to keep them in the game. I mean, he was a phenomenal machine for Carolina, but for some reason, they could not punch it in to take the lead. Carolina had their opportunity when Derek Anderson, the quarterback of Carolina, tried to get a TD pass to Greg Olsen. It was intercepted by Ben Grimes. Ben Grimes got up there for that catch, y'all. He got up there for that at the 8:45 mark of the fourth. They blew that opportunity. You can't do stuff like that. Tampa Bay had crucial drives during that stretch. Penalties against Carolina kind of put them in position to win the football game. Now, mind you, Roberto Aguayo, he had missed a field goal early in that fourth quarter that could have given them the lead. Missed it wide left. But he got redemption. And got an opportunity to be the winner, the GOAT, the GAT. Not the greatest of all time, but the greatest at that time. But he punched it in and he won it for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay goes on to win 17-14. Here's Tampa Bay's head coach and Carolina's head coach, Dick Cutter and Juan Rivera, talking about the outcome of the game down the stretch.
I'm happy that he made it, man. That's awesome that he made it, but we can't miss those field goals. I mean, shoot, what do you want me to say? I mean, we can't miss those. That could have lost us a game. I'm happy that he made the other one.
I mean, we did some good things at times, but the bottom line is, again, we can't be careless with the football. We can't make mistakes, and that's what we did. We got to look at those things and make sure we get those things corrected. Again, the disappointing part was we came out and we didn't take advantage of the opportunities we had. We're in the fourth quarter, and we have an opportunity to get them out on a 3-and-out and get the ball in good field position, if we make them punt, but we didn't do that. And that's the disappointing thing. We didn't do the things that we needed to do to win this football game.
Now, that was both head coaches talking about what transpired late in that ball game. Dirk Cutter is right. He had to make that field goal because Roberto Aguayo's possible NFL career could have been on the line right there if he had missed that, and Carolina would have won that football game. Now, mind you, Aguayo is the first kicker to come out in 30 drafts, 30 seasons. And there's been many before him. Ray Guy, Janikowski, Vinatieri, and countless list of others that had phenomenal careers being kickers in the NFL. They gave up a lot for this kid. And he has to produce when he needs to produce. And you just simply can't be missing field goals like that, especially chip shots. But congratulations to Roberto Aguayo. He made it. They won. Now, on Carolina's side of the football, Juan Rivera was exactly right what he was saying. When you got opportunities in the ball game to try to force a stop, to get your players back out there on the field for a drive to kick the game-winning field goal or whatever it is you're going to do, you got to make those plays. And they just simply could not do that. I don't know if the defense was tired. I don't know if they misread the play schemes. I don't know what happened with Carolina. But all I do know is that they wasn't effective and they didn't get the job done and they ended up losing the ball game. Juan Rivera and the Carolina Panthers cannot endure another loss like this, because if it gets to the point where a change is going to have to be made, Ron Rivera is going to be on the hot seat. Big time. No doubt about that. Now, after the Arizona-San Francisco game, I understand that they're talking about making some changes. Colin Kaepernick is now going to be starting in week 6.
All right.
Clap it up, everybody. Yep, cheer, cheer, cheer. About time, cheer. All right. But it was long overdue. But they want to say it had nothing to do with Blaine Gabbert's style of play.
Say what?
They looked over the film, they looked over the game, and felt that there was a time that needed to be changed. No. Blaine Gabbert is not playing great right now. Let's put that out there on the table where it's always been laying, people. Not saying he's a horrible quarterback or nothing like that. It's just that he's just not playing well. He doesn't fit the scheme of Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly runs a style of offense that fast pace. And you need a quarterback to be alert for that. And Blaine Gabbert is just not that guy. So guess what? They lose. And if Chip Kelly don't look out, he's going to be on the hot seat. Because after all, he's has an important game coming up for him as well, too. Here is your NFL schedule for next Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. Denver, after that loss, looked to rebound against San Diego at the Chargers. Baltimore travels to New York to face the Giants to bounce back from their 2-game skid. Jacksonville is going to face Chicago, who won. Los Angeles is coming to Detroit to play the Lions, who beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Pittsburgh is on a hot streak right now. They you know what? They should be able to win against Miami convincingly in Miami. Cincinnati travels to New England. Ooh, man, that's going to be a tough one there. They have to come back from the loss to Dallas. Carolina, with their close loss, they travel to New Orleans. San Francisco, like I said before, this is a big game for both Rex Ryan and Chip Kelly. And I talked about that in the last podcast, and now y'all starting to see what I'm talking about. This is a big game. Both of these teams need this victory in the worst way. Chip Kelly loses game. He's on the hot seat. Rex Ryan, even though he won last week, which he needed to win last week on Sunday, if he loses to San Francisco, they might be talking about him on the hot seat. So that's the game to be looking out for. Philadelphia, they looking to bounce back against Washington, who won. Cleveland is looking to get off the snide to get their first victory of the season against Tennessee. Kansas City goes to Oakland, who is red hot. How about them Raiders, man? They're red hot right now. Raider Nation, I'm proud of y'all for supporting the Oakland Raiders. Keep doing what you're doing. Raiders at home against Kansas City. That's going to be a good AFC West matchup. Dallas travels to Green Bay. That's going to be another good game at 4:25. Atlanta travels to Seattle. That's going to be another pretty good game at 4:25. And at the matinee of Sunday Night Football, you got Indianapolis at Houston, 8:30 p.m. And then on Monday, the finale, the New York Jets travel to Arizona. So who's my sleeper team per se? Let's bring it up. My sleeper team of the NFL week is it's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm looking at the schedule, checking things out. I'm going to say the Buffalo-San Francisco game. San Francisco at Buffalo. I believe that the San Francisco 49ers, now that they're going to put Colin Kaepernick at the starter, is going to win this football game and put Rex Ryan on the hot seat for everybody to be talking about on Monday. There it is, my sleeper, San Francisco and Buffalo. And that is my sleeper team of the week. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you so much for listening to the Scoop Podcast Show with your boy Sean Harris. And a special thank you to E2 Tapan. Thank you for liking, supporting, and keep following the Scoop Podcast Show as well as the Scoop Talk Show. And also I'd like to thank you, the listeners out there, for making the Scoop Podcast Show and the Scoop Talk Show what it is today. Because without you, this show or what I do wouldn't be possible. I would also like to give a special shout out to my sponsors, KSC Entertainment LLC. Thank you so much for your support. And don't forget, you can follow the show's Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/Scoop Talk Show, where you'll find articles, pictures, photos, videos, and much, much more. Also, you can find the Scoop Talk Show and me on Tumblr. You can also find me on Twitter at CEZAAR19, including YouTube. You can catch all my video articles and archives right there on YouTube up under Sean Harris. I'm out of here like the breeze through the trees, and when I'm gone, I'm taking all the leaves. Peace. Take care, and I'll see you next time.